evening, y'all, and welcome. This is episode 122 of Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow, the number one Arrowverse podcast on Pornhub. I am your host. Yes, I am back. The self-knighted Sir Cussalott Travis Pointer, a.k.a. the Dragon King, a.k.a. Big T, a.k.a. T-Money, a.k.a. Sweet Tea, a.k.a. Black Merlin, a.k.a. DHNIC. And I am joined once again by my co-host, Mara the Shark Watkins.
Hello.
How you doing, Mara?
I'm doing swell.
You miss me?
A little bit.
Look, I'm going to need you to show some enthusiasm or I will mute you. You need to be excited and happy that I'm back.
Silence me in a time like this?
I sure will. I ain't scared.
Silence me in a time like this?
I ain't scared. I'll do it.
Oh my God.
I have just cause, so I will do it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. It's good to be back, people. As you all probably realized by now, I took a bit of a hiatus for a while. I had some, some things to take care of. But now they're taken care of.
We kind of told them you had a skin bleaching accident and
I had to get my color back.
Yeah, you were taking like a 3 to 4 week tanning rotation.
It's not entirely untrue. Like, I'm not going to confirm or deny whether or not tanning happened, but,
Okay.
It's possible.
It's possible?
It's possible.
Okay, I'll take it's possible.
Maybe not probable, but it's possible.
Meh.
But we're not talking about me and my tanning habits. We're here to talk about the Arrowverse on the CW. Supergirl, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman, and now Stargirl. Especially now, because it's only Stargirl. Because they decided to put Stargirl on the CW. Because, fuck Travis. But, yeah. You ready to talk about Stargirl?
Have you been here since it's been only just Stargirl?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how many episodes we are actually into the season. I just know how many episodes we are into Super Flashy. So I'm just like, I don't know how many. You could tell me we were at 5, and I'd be like, you know what? You're right. Because it's felt like June since February.
Yeah. I feel like I think this was episode 8 of Stargirl.
Okay.
And it's been just Stargirl for like 5 weeks or so, or 6 weeks, something like that.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, without further dudes, let's get on into Stargirl.
Do it.
So this episode was called what?
Shiv, part 1. So I'm hoping.
1.
Right. I'm hoping next week is part 2.
I mean, that's usually how these things work. Now, here's the thing. If I were writing this show, I would have gave you Shiv part 1 this week, and you wouldn't have gotten Shiv part 2 till next season. Just because. Just because. Like, the next episode could be a full-on continuation of this episode, but I still wouldn't call it Shiv part 2 until next season.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I've seen a show that had a part 1 and then like there was like an episode or so and then there was a part 2. I don't know.
Well, there's been other shows who have done like part 2s of like episode names in later seasons, but it was only because like that particular episode was centered around a certain character and they did it again like another season later and they called it like whatever part 2, or whatever 2. So, it's been done before, but probably for different reasons than the reason I would do it. Because I would do it just to fuck with people.
Evil.
But yeah, this episode kicks off with a montage. We all love montages, and it's a montage to the good old song "Taking Care of Business." So you got
Their morning routines.
Yeah, morning routines. Courtney goes downstairs to go say hi to the staff because she talks to the stick, and it glows to talk back. It doesn't say words, but she talks to the stick. You got Yolanda doing her training, punching shit. Then you got Rick. Is that his name?
Yes.
Yes.
Scraping things.
Rick, like carving into a tree and shit. Yeah. Then you go to Beth, and that's where the music is actually coming from. Like the goggles are playing, taking care of business while she's in the bathroom, singing into a toothbrush. And we get a nice fun moment though, because she her parents knock on the door and open the door, and she's just like, oh no, yep, I'm not doing anything. And
what's up, guys?
Yeah, and they're like, did you make our lunches? Like the whole thing about did you make our lunches? Because I didn't see them down. It's like, oh, I got busy. I didn't have time. And they're just like dumbstruck because now they're like, what the fuck do we do about lunch? She didn't make our lunch.
Right. I was just like, yo, they're not gonna make it. She's been doing that shit for them for so long. Like they're just like, how do I get lunch now? Like, how does that work?
Like, how does lunch happen now? Because my daughter didn't make my lunch for me. So
like, do I have to order it? Do I have to make it? Do I have to buy it? Like, how does this work? Like,
yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of administrator in there that can get them lunch, but they've never done that before because Beth has always made them lunch every day.
It's different when she's not as fixated on them anymore.
Yeah, and they don't know how to deal with it. They're confused. So then we get this moment where, Courtney and Pat are talking as they walk through a door. I don't know where they were coming from, why they were outside at first and then walked inside into the kitchen in the morning. Or was it the basement they were coming from?
I think that's the basement.
Okay, because that was weird to me.
That would make the most sense to me, like where they would be early morning, and that would be the only other place I think in the house would make sense.
Yeah, with a door, because it was just like, did they just come from outside? Why were they outside? But it makes sense they were coming from the basement. So you're right. I'll go.
Yeah, no, I think at that angle, and it's only because I sit so close to my television when I watch. I think from that angle, that door is the basement. I think the other door is outside. So I think there's like a slight diet. Yeah. Like a door.
You think there's a what?
Like a small wall before you would peek around into the dining room. There's like a small wall by the front door where you'd have to like walk like 2 wall panes before you would peek around and see the dining room. But I think the basement, I think you can just kind of come out and see from what I've noticed from watching. It's a lot easier to notice things when you don't have 3 other shows to watch.
You can pay a lot closer attention to one show. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Because I feel like now I sound like a real weirdo of knowing about like a fake house.
I mean, it is what it is. It happens when we're doing them thrones too, where we're just like looking at every little detail. But anyway, so we get this moment when they're talking and they accidentally like say some shit out loud in front of little brother. What's his name? Mike?
Max.
It's Max?
Mike. Yes. I don't know why I said Max. Mike.
It's Mike.
I think it's Mike.
Don't confuse me. You know I don't know nobody.
I'm pretty sure it's Mike. I'm sorry. No, it's Mike.
All right, cool. Threw me off, and they're like, had to cover it up, like talking about like, instead of talking about the JSA, they're actually talking about, oh, I'm just talking about teaching her how to drive, because we got the cover story about them learning to drive, because all that's going on, and then the mama comes in like, yo, you gotta like talk to me before you start talking about taking my daughter out driving and shit, even though you're a car guy. But they get past that. Then we get to that asshole teenage jock dude with the red hair. He's talking to his father, or like visiting his father in the hospital. His father being Brainwave, that evil telepathic motherfucker. And then his evil girlfriend shows up, which we found out later on she actually is evil. Like, not even just
Cindy.
She's not even just a bitch. She's actually evil. Like, Just, whew. So she shows up and, you know, she sees him struggling over what's going on with his father, but she finds a way to make this whole thing about herself. She's just like, yeah, we can do homecoming, but you got to get this so you can match my corsage. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, you see where we are. Like, you see my dad right here in a coma. Read the room. Like,
right. I was like, that's a real read the room. Like, literally read the room.
Yeah. So, yeah, that happens. And then we get through all that. And he's like, yo, I'm not going to homecoming. And she just decides, you know, all right, fine, whatever. Then we get to the high school and we see all the JSA kids hanging out, walking down the hallway. And I literally said when I saw this, it's like Power Rangers. They're literally making a Power Ranger show right now, and I'm with it. Before this, I was kind of iffy on Stargirl, whether or not I actually liked the show. And then they did Power Rangers shit. I'm like, oh, they're making Power Rangers again. I'm with it. But then there's that moment.
But they're cute, like a group of friends.
Yeah, like Power Rangers.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they save the world and they hang out at school. All they need is like a juice bar to hang out in.
That's conveniently close to their school.
Exactly. Whereas for some reason, one of them teaches karate classes. Anyway, so then we get a moment where Cindy is her name, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah, she walks through them being all evil and shit. And then she, like, you know, later on is like talking to her friend, and this friend of hers, and I'm going to put quotes around the word friend because I feel like this isn't a real friendship. But she's like, yo, Travis asked me to the dance. No, I didn't. But anyway, she said this dude named Travis asked her to the dance. And Cindy
Travis,
was just...
You cannot be asking out teenagers to homecoming dances.
I mean, I know that. And, like, I would never do such a thing, which is why I said she's full of lies.
Okay.
I would never.
Making sure that we...
Like,
exactly.
Like, Travis has never set foot in Blue Valley, all right? Like, even
can't prove anything.
Even outside of, like, the accusations of even just asking anybody, I definitely didn't ask her because I've never set foot in Blue Valley. All right? So, therefore, her accusations are false and without merit. However, they get into an argument about homecoming because Cindy's like, oh, I'm not going. It's all losers and lames like you and blah, 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 blah. And then, you know.
Right. Like, just being a bitch to be a bitch.
And then old girl was like, you know what? Well, fuck you. I'm glad you ain't going. I'm sick of your shit.
She's like, I need a break from you.
Yeah. And like, all Cindy can come with, like, the feeling is mutual. Blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, go sit down somewhere. So that happens, but also in the meantime, Jordan, aka Icicle, tells Barbara, like, yo, you should come with me to try to close this deal on this overnight business trip. And I'm just like, yeah, that's not suspicious at all, but okay. But she's like, yeah, thanks for the opportunity, blah, blah, blah. But back to the, you know, evil teenage shit. We got some shit going on with the janitor who's clearly somebody, because I'm like, yeah, they're lingering on this janitor.
Focusing on him too much.
Yeah. So then he goes back into his little janitor's closet, and there's a horse calendar and there's a sword. And I'm like, who are you, sir?
Right? Like, who the hell are you?
Like, my familiarity with the JSA is not strong enough for me to really remember who he might be, you know? So it's like, normally stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I know who that is. But this situation, I didn't at all. So I'm looking forward to finding things out. Because a lot of times, like...
Because I'm hoping we're going to get more from out of him.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We definitely will.
Pretty sure we will.
Mm-hmm. But normally, like, with stuff like that, when these things pop up, I know who they are already, so I get no surprises. Well, now I'm going to get a surprise because I don't know who this guy is. So there's that. We also got a couple mentions of Green Lantern in this show, in this episode, and I was very excited about that. I'm like, are we going to get a Green Lantern? Is there going to be a Green Lantern on Stargirl? I would be so excited if there is.
Is that how you think that's how they would bring her into the Arrowverse? By somehow getting Diggle over there?
That would be awesome. I don't think so, but that would be awesome. Like,
I kind of feel like, are they going to do more with that? Like, why allude to that?
Why allude to what?
Weren't they alluding to Wait, no, I'm thinking of something.
I'm asking which show you're talking about right now because we're talking about two shows at the same time now.
Oh, Arrow.
Oh yeah, at the end they alluded to John Diggle becoming Green Lantern. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm wondering, like, are they gonna do anything with that, or is it like that's just it? Like,
it's possible, but the thing is, like, I know HBO was talking about doing a Green Lantern Corps show, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what they're gonna do. You know, that's also Warner Brothers, so it's just like, I don't know. We don't know what they're doing. But yeah, because they talked about that lantern multiple times in this episode, though. They were just like, Pat mentioned Green Lantern at one point, and they also were talking about how dangerous that lantern is, but it's only dangerous if you also have the ring. It's like, clearly that's the Green Lantern ring. So it's just like, what's going on here? But anyway, we go to this chemistry class, and apparently we find out that her name, what's her name? Cindy, right?
Cindy.
Yes, I remembered. Okay, so her and Courtney are forced to be lab partners, and so they got to work together in this fucking class. But also, we go to the asshole jock with the red hair in class, and he has brainwave shit happening to him, like he's hearing people's thoughts and shit. So he definitely got a 100% on that test he's taking right now because he got all the answers from everybody else. But back in the chemistry lab, we find out that Cindy is actually like a fucking awesome at chemistry. Like, it's just, because she's been doing the shit with her father since she was a kid. And I'm just like,
and I was just like, who is your dad?
Exactly. Who's your dad? I need to know who's your daddy. Like, who is it? Who is it? But then we find out later on, but not before. They actually have a good time together in the chemistry lab. And Cindy asks, hey, Courtney, you want to just hang out on Saturday since neither one of us are going to the dance? And Courtney being the good-hearted person she is, she's like, I found a way to get through her rough exterior and see that maybe she's a good person on the inside. Spoiler alert. She's not. Like, at all. She goes home and she starts fucking with her stepmama, who we find out later on isn't like even her own person anymore. She's just like been like corrupted and controlled by the daddy to just be a wife and take care of the house because he's fucking evil too. But she's like real fucked up to the step. Like, she like knocks the plate of cookies out of her hand and all that. And she's like, yo, I want a snack now. Or you don't do what I want, I'm going to tell my daddy, now bring me wine. And it's just like, yo.
And she's like,
yo, what is your malfunction? What did she do to you? Nothing. But exist. Like, that's
right. I was like, she's there. So like, I don't understand. I was like, why are you abusive to her?
Because she's fucking evil. That's the thing. In the end, she's just fucking evil. And the thing is, we find out later on, like, why she's evil like that. But most evil people have a background as to why they're evil, but they're still evil. So it's just... So she goes down into the basement because, she wants to go talk to the pops. And she, like, hits some buttons to open up the little, security locked place. Stepmom's like, oh, he don't want you down there. And Cindy's like, yeah, fuck you, and goes down there anyway. And that's when we see she walks right past, the little thing where they're holding Solomon Grundy. Like, oh, there's Grundy. So that's a thing.
She was like, stop growling at me. I was like, they got fucking... I was like, oh, she's... in the hideout, because I was as far as I was concerned, I was like, Grundy's in like their lair.
Yeah, exactly. So because we saw that in another episode when other dude was walking by, and they walked by where they were holding Grundy. So once that happened, like, oh, her father is part of the Injustice Society. Okay, so we know what side she's
really
on.
Right, which didn't really surprise me.
It didn't,
like,
but it was good to have confirmation. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Because like I think because last week I think I was saying to Matt, I was like, oh, thank God we're finally starting to get some like the fuck is up with her. Because I was like, there's something about her. Like I was like, she has to be somehow like I figured she was like an ISA member who was just eternally young or some shit like that. Like I didn't know what to think. But I was just like, I was like, she's some kind of evil. And then so it's like, it's funny when she goes downstairs and we figure out who her dad is. When she says, I'm tired of being a teenager, I was like, I knew it. But then it was like, no. And then it was like, no, she's just really tired of just being a regular teenager.
Yeah, she's trying to get treated like one. That's really what it is.
Yeah. So like, I thought that was like, I was cracking up. I was like, I knew it. And I was like, oh no, I was wrong. But it was really, I like how they did that, how they revealed that.
So
I
we
got
what
Dr. Aito looks like.
Huh?
I want to know what he looks like.
Oh, the one behind the mask and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then it's training time. So all the JSA kids show up at Pat's garage, do some training, and he's trying to give them some instruction, but Courtney's just being difficult for no reason. It's just like, yo, just let him talk.
Like I was really just like, she's undermining his training, and I'm just like, yo, I'm frustrated just watching this.
Like, didn't y'all just talk about this last week?
Right. And then it's like at the same time, I'm also just like, I'm not Pat's biggest fan. I'm really not. And then I guess no one here, it's not a secret that I'm not a big fan of Pat, but I was like, come the fuck on. Like, he is the only one who really has experience of like what they can and can't and knowledge of them. So it's kind of just like, yo, shut the fuck up and let him talk.
Like, especially because they literally talked about it on the last episode as to why he does what he does, and she was like, I get it, okay, I'll listen to you, and then doesn't do it. So
like, girl, like, and then on top of that, when she kept saying like, I've already fought one of them, it's like, yes, you have. The other three knuckleheads behind you have not. Like, they don't know what they're going against.
And the thing is,
like, like they had Sportsmaster and the kitty bitch, but you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, she fought them and barely survived.
Right.
Like, it's just like, you don't think maybe, somebody could probably teach you a little something. But here's the thing. She's a teenager, and therefore she's stupid. So that's the kind of thing that they do.
Just stupid things.
Yeah. So yeah, she just fucks up the training for everybody, like, hitting all the like little practice dummies and shit, fucking them up, and the rest of them are like, yo, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Like, I would like to practice too.
Yeah. This ain't all about you. Like, there's more of us here now.
I was just so frustrated watching that happen because it's like, I hate people who cannot be a team player but keep insinuating that they have to be a team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, you are Oliver. A problem right here.
Excuse me. Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. Oliver.
Sound like he's saying something over there.
I'm not saying anything about Oliver Queen. No. But
But yeah, like that was, I don't know. I was just very frustrated, like watching that. And I think like, I don't know if it's like as a parent or just an adult or just someone with fucking sense who's not a teenager.
But to say somebody who's not a teenager. That's what that is. She's being a dumbass teenager. And I hate them all. Name a teenager right now.
My cousin.
Hate him.
Why?
Because he's a teenager. And they're stupid.
Okay. Jenna, if you ever hear this, I'm so sorry that I did not defend your kids.
Teenagers. Stupid. All of them. Every last one of them. Smartest teenager you'll ever meet in your life, still stupid. Because they do stupid teenage shit. It's okay. It's everybody. When I was a teenager, I was stupid too.
You grow out of it.
I do stupid teenager shit. It happens. But anyway, so Cindy wants to join the Injustice Society, like a daddy. And he was like, nah, you need to chill and do what the fuck I told you to do. Like, right. You just do what the fuck I tell you, all right? Stop being a stupid teenager and do what the fuck I tell you and get close to Brainwave's son so that when Brainwave's powers and shit, show up in the sun, we ready for it. And she's like, he don't have his powers. And he's like, yo, just watch. And we saw.
Just wait.
We all saw. Clearly he does, but she ain't paying attention because she's too busy complaining because she's a stupid ass
about homecoming.
Yeah, because she wants him there to go with her to the damn homecoming dance. She wants to be
just but she also is kind of like just over him as well. Like she kind of just doesn't want, like she wants to break up with him too. Like I don't even think like she genuinely wants to be with him.
No, anymore. We see now. Yeah, she only got with him in the first place because her father said she needed to. So all the shit she did to Yolanda was only done because she needed to fulfill a mission from her father to get with that dude.
For the ISA, which I guarantee you we're gonna find. It's gonna be divulged to them later on, and then Yolanda's gonna be like, "Oh, fuck that bitch," and all that shit, and then Henry's not even gonna want to be evil. Henry's probably gonna want to be good.
Maybe. Or maybe we'll get, a teenage ISA versus the teenage JSA. And,
I doubt it because for most of the parents in the ISA, they don't even want to tell their kids what happened, what they're doing.
They don't want to, but they'll find out eventually.
Maybe. I was actually surprised when Sportsmaster and whatever the kitty lady's name is, had suggested bringing their kids into it, and I was just like, "Do you hate your kids?"
No, they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing.
Yeah, but I feel like that kind of ends only like in one
Tigress,
way.
Tigress is her name.
Thank you. I was like, I know it's not Wildcat because that's Yolanda, and I'm just like, I can't think of what her name is.
And I couldn't remember either. I'm like, let me go ahead and hit the Google machine, and there we go. So
yeah.
Then we find out, we don't find this out, but the drawing kid, Cameron, and his father have this talk about finding love and all that kind of stuff. And he gives them very sound advice, almost like he's a good person and a good father.
Right. I was like, is he real? Like, I was like, I feel like I kind of wish I knew what his plans were.
Exactly. Here's the thing. He believes he's doing the right thing. So.
Because I kind of want to know, like, what is your plan? Like, what are we going to do? And what is the end goal here? Because I was like, are we really? Because it's kind of like that Killmonger argument. Was Killmonger really wrong for his act, for his motive, for what he did and stuff like that? And people were arguing, was like, the motivation was there.
Yeah.
The plan was not good.
Yeah, exactly. The method was the problem. Probably the same situation here. Like his end goals are probably, justified.
Honorable.
Yeah, justified, honorable, whatever you want to call it. But his motive, means were not.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I just wish I want to know. I was like, but I guess that's not a conversation we're going to really have in this show.
Oh, it probably will eventually. We'll see,
oh, you're right.
what that plan ultimately is. And then we'll be like, oh, now is that worth it? Probably not, but we'll find out. So, cut forward, everybody's at the homecoming game after, the mama went away to that trip with, Icicle. And Courtney is still like she's watching the principal because she still thinks she's the fiddler.
But I mean, this don't make no sense. I need that to be explained sooner than later.
You need what to be explained?
What's the deal with the fiddler? Because the fiddler is not who they remember it was.
True.
It's not the dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so like, and Pat's like, I don't understand how, like, and then how did we get Principal Bowen into it? Like, that's what I kind of want to understand. Like, what has happened here in between these, I guess, 15, 16 years? 12, maybe.
10 years, ain't it?
I don't remember. Maybe, yeah, because they're children. They're Gen Z people.
Yeah. I hate them all.
2004.
Yeah. Ugh. So then we got this whole fucking Mike. I don't like this kid, Mara, like at all.
I'm also under the impression that kid never had a full meal before Barbara and Pat got married. I am under the impression he did not eat a lot when it was just him and Pat.
Why do you say that?
Because this kid is always eating like a dump truck.
Yeah, he's a preteen boy. That's what they do.
Is it?
Yes. He's a preteen boy. All we did when we were like 11 to 13 years old was eat. All the time. All the time. Especially, well, I don't think he plays any sports, but especially if you play sports, you are always hungry. Like, it's just, you go to the fucking thing, like, and that continues all the way through high school, actually. Like, my freshman year in high school, it was a thing. Like, I had football practice, and then I had band rehearsal right after it on Wednesdays. All right?
Oh, my God.
So I had football practice every day after school, but on Wednesdays, I also had band rehearsal at 6 o'clock at night. So between those times, my dad had to bring me food because I had to eat. And it was not a small meal that he brought me. Like, I'm talking like large double Whopper combo kind of shit,
Oh
like
God.
It was, I had to replenish. Yeah. Preteens and teenage boys, like, they eat a lot. Like, it's what they do. However, I don't like him just because he's a dick for no reason. He annoys me all the time. And now he's like, he's my dad, not yours, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, really, kid? Really?
But I was kind of just like, I would understand that if Pat and Barbara were just dating. But I was like, y'all are like full on brother and sister, like legally and all that shit.
Yeah,
like,
there was a marriage involved here. Like, you can't blame them for trying to like come together. Like,
right. So I'm just kind of like, does it really matter? Like at that point, because I guess like now technically he's also kind of her dad too, in the protective stance. So it's kind of just like, and then when he was like, you don't see me doing X, Y, and Z and Barbara, I was like, we've seen you doing X, Y, and Z with Barbara a couple of weeks.
I'm about to say, wasn't she the one that showed up to your science fair?
Right. Despite you still telling them not to, and sat on the couch with you while they were eating. I feel like that's not the first time we've seen them just kind of chilling on the couch, snacking it up. So I'm just like, you also spend time with Barbara, and that's her mom. Yeah. So shut up.
Exactly. So at this game, though, we got Cameron, the kid that draws shit, son of Icicle, asking Courtney to the homecoming dance. And she's like, oh, man, I'm so excited. Yeah, I'll go with you. I got to tell Cindy, though, we got to make new plans because, yeah, I'm going to the dance now. So she goes to tell Cindy, and she's just like,
in typical Cindy fashion, becomes a whole bitch.
Yeah, just goes, yeah, well, fuck you and everything you stand for. Get away from me.
Like,
we're not cool no more.
Ever. Right, like, fuck you. Fuck your house.
Yeah, forever. Like, it's just, I'm like, oh, yeah. Well, so much for me, like, having some kind of sympathy for you.
Right. I was like, oh, maybe this is the connection that would bring Cindy over to the good side down the line. Nope, that went straight out the window.
And here's the thing. I didn't make this connection before. In the line at the concession stand, like finally made the connection that pushy gym dude from the early part of his sports master.
I definitely just figured that out today too. When I was watching the episode, I was like, "That is that motherfucker."
Yeah, I'm like, and that's so damn perfect. Fuck you.
I'm so happy that you pointed that out because I was like, I can't point this out because it would be too obvious coming from me to be like, so you just weren't paying attention this whole time.
No, it had nothing to do with me. I guess maybe neither one of us are paying attention. Either way, I didn't realize it till just then that was the same dude.
And because then it's even funnier because Pat has no idea who he is.
Yeah. He doesn't know.
Which means that he's been working with him and he's interacted with him several times and has no idea. Which continues to prove the point that Pat has no idea what the fuck he is doing.
So then we get Courtney, she's still like on this principal thing. So she goes inside the school, which for some reason is unlocked.
Sorry.
What'd you say?
She follows her.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it's just like, apparently like the school's just unlocked. Like they don't lock the shit at night.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying like she's she's following her to wherever she's going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, she goes in, she suits up, and the janitor's still there. And I'm like, well, does he live at the school? Like, because he was already there all day. So he's there at night too? Like, do you sleep there too? Like,
I was like, how dirty is the school?
I'm going to go with the fact that he lives there. Like, that's all I can really use to justify it.
I mean, groundskeeper Willie lives at the Springfield school.
Yeah, but that's The Simpsons. That's a cartoon. Like...
But you're not going to sit here and tell me it sounds really unreasonable that a janitor would live at the school.
It is
kind of universe.
It is unreasonable to assume that a janitor would live at the school, Mara. Like, they don't do that.
Universe, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure
I do know. You are not going to use a cartoon to justify the thought that the janitor lives in the school.
Well, in Harry Potter, Filch also lived on the school grounds.
So did all the students. That don't mean shit. It was a school where everybody lived there. I don't even know those movies like that, but I know that much.
Well, what can I say? My only reference is a series about magic and another one about yellow people in a non-existent town that we can't pinpoint what state it's in because they won't confirm it.
Oh, man. So anyway, Courtney finds the hidden passage in the principal's office.
More like the staff.
The staff found it. Yeah, you're right. The staff found the hidden passage. She knew it was on the wall, but the staff found out where it was exactly.
The staff had a whole tantrum. He was like, "No, you dumb bitch! It's over here."
We had tapping the wrong part of the wall. Like, fuck.
The way it shook over, I was just like, "Okay, cosmic staff, bring it down."
No, fuck that. She needed to get it right in the first place. I feel that staff.
I was like, "You at a 9 right now. Bring it down to a 6." Like.
The 6 wouldn't have been enough to get her attention because you know how sure she is about herself.
True that. She would have been like, stop.
Like, stop. It's over here. And you're like, no, fuck that. It's over here. God damn. Can you imagine being that staff and having to work with a teenager? Like, it's just like...
It's what I imagine guardian angels go through.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because you can't talk to them. You can't respond to them. Like, it's like... But you just kind of want them to just get it, like, please.
Yeah. So, Cindy's having a fit because, she's mad that Courtney's not going to hang out with her on Saturdays and she's going to go to the dance instead.
And she don't want to go to the dance alone.
Yeah, and, the asshole jock was like, I'm not going, so leave me the fuck alone. Even though she tried to, force him to go, and he's like, no, fuck that. But
I just don't understand. I was like, girl, I don't get you.
She's evil. Like, that's what it is. It's just that simple. So she's down in the basement and shit already. I don't know how she got there so quick, but she's there.
Ooh, what we also forgot to mention was earlier when she was talking to her dad, we forgot to mention that he altered her or whatever. Did something
gave
to
her powers. Yeah.
So she has like these like little spiky things that come out of her.
Yeah,
her
she has those
wrist.
Assassin's Creed style blades in her hand. She has the hidden blades.
Right. The ninja shits.
Yeah. So she's down in like the little basement looking for her dad, and he's not around, and she throws a fit. She's like, you know what? Fuck it. Because she sees Stargirl on the little monitor. It's like,
Has managed to come in. She's like, I'm going to fuck her up and earn my seat.
Yeah, so she goes and puts on her mama's suit and grabs a little snake staff fire stick thing and like, oh, let's go get it on. And they fight. And during this fight, Stargirl does a little blasty thing right in her face, but her face gets all burnt up, and she's like, "Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that to you. Oh no, oh no, oh no!" But then the face heals.
Sorry. And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I'm just kind of like, you can't tell that's Courtney by her voice.
I mean, but she looked at it. She knew that was Cindy, so maybe she could have told. I don't know.
I just think it's so weird.
Remember, there's a very key element to all this. She is a teenager and therefore stupid.
Okay.
However, she still should recognize the voice, but she didn't because she's a teenager and therefore stupid. So, that whole fight happens. Cindy eventually gets the upper hand. Probably would have killed Stargirl, but then here comes the janitor to the rescue with his sword, knocks her the fuck out. And after she knocks her the fuck out, he like kind of just walks away and leaves her there.
I was like, you're not going to take Courtney out of there. What if she wakes up first?
He didn't leave. He just kind of made himself a little scarce and was watching because you saw after the staff left and went to go get Pat, like hiding around the corner and shit.
He's at the bus like,
hey, bro.
Hey, you want to buy some drugs?
Like, yo.
Now that you're here, Courtney needs help.
Like, come with me. Follow me. Come help this little girl because she's stupid because she's a teenager. And
she wasn't listening to you. I tried to tell her not to. She didn't do it.
Yeah. So he goes in there and he finds her unconscious. And when he finds her unconscious, the janitor's looking like, Stripey, I know you. And we cut to black while he's like holding her in his arms because she's all fucked up after Cindy had ran away before they showed up. And that's the end of Stargirl.
I'm kind of just like, but she just kind of stabbed her in the hands. I was like, would really all that warrant that kind of, I don't know. I've never been stabbed in the hand, so I don't know.
I don't know.
And I hope to never be.
I'm about to say, let's try to avoid that from now on.
I'm good with that.
But yeah.
But I also have this thing like, Pat came running into the room. And I know he wouldn't have known not to, but like he came in there screaming
Courtney. Yeah.
And I'm just like, my nigga, like Cindy is still actively getting up while he is screaming Courtney.
Her
and
real name.
Like, yeah. And I'm just like, I feel like Cindy now knows who she is because like a lot of like the ISA stuff that she heard was like, she overheard them saying, who are they? If they figure out who one is, they can pretty much figure out who the rest are.
Yeah, because they all hang out together, like the Power Rangers.
Yep. And then you got Beth, who screams out JSA things in the middle of the hallway. She's a liability. I meant to say that about 20 minutes ago. She's a fucking liability.
She is. They'll keep her around, though, because she'll latch on to them, and then she'll make them lunch every day.
Yep. You'll be fed.
That's why I'd keep her around. Because, yeah, that was Stargirl. How'd you feel about this episode?
I I liked it because I kind of wanted to know, like, the fuck Cindy's problem was. But I feel like this will also prove to show that Courtney does not know everything that she's talking about.
We knew that already, though, because...
Yeah, I feel like I hope.
Wait. How do we know that? How do we know she doesn't?
Go on.
Because she's a teenager and therefore stupid.
Okay. But yes, so I enjoyed this episode. I feel like the more in depth they get to some of these backgrounds, I feel like the more interested I am, obviously, because it's kind of just like, I felt like at first it was like y'all are grasping at straws for a lot of things here. And
I agree. But then they gave me DC Power Rangers and now I'm in.
I'm dead. But yeah.
So who's winning this week, Mara? It's a hard question, ain't it? Think about it.
I was like, is anyone really winning this week?
Somebody's got to be winning. I have an idea in my head, but I won't let you go. But you think about it for a second. Stop. Think about it.
I mean, I guess Cindy.
It's an interesting proposition. She
with
limped away,
the,
but
with the theory that she heard Courtney's name, that would be a win on her book. That's with that assumption.
Okay. I'm going to say she didn't hear her, so I'm going to disagree with you. Okay. I'm going to say Jordan/Icicle is winning because he's unhatching some kind of plan with Barbara. We haven't seen it yet, but I know he has a plan. There's a reason why he brought her with him. He's the only one that's getting what he wants right now, so I'm going to go with him.
Does he know Barbara's connection?
Probably not, but he knows. He's probably, there's a reason why he brought her, is what I'm saying.
Do you think he likes her?
It's a possibility.
Because I'm sitting here thinking yes, what he's doing, going to get that building and property and stuff like that. I know that's part of his evil plan because the whole fucking business is part of his evil plan. Mm-hmm. I think because when talking to Cameron about love and stuff like that, also Cameron saying something about, him getting back out there, and just kind of the little detail, the little interactions that they've made of Barbara and Jordan from the moment she spoke up about the theater to getting her, hearing her voice on certain things. So, I was like, unless he knew that one, Pat was Stripesy, who was a sidekick for, Starman, and that she's married to, unless he knew all those connections, that's how I could see him targeting her being part of the evil plan. I think he likes her regardless of her relationship status. And
so you think it's a GTD situation?
A what?
A GTD situation. All right.
Get the dick.
Right.
Get
Get
the door.
No. I'm gonna need you. How much Martin have you watched in your day?
I've watched a lot of Martin, but not in a very long time.
All right. So GTD is something that Tommy wrote in his little black book, and that stands for get the draws.
Okay. I don't know. I guess. I that's kind of how I see it right now. I just kind of feel like it's by chance it happens to be Barbara.
Possible. I can get with that. Who's losing?
Courtney, obviously.
Yeah, she's
about to have this L thrown in her face all the way up in her face.
Yeah, because she brought this on herself first of all by doing this solo shit, but she was told not to. Doing all this team and then did solo shit, and then got fucked up.
She couldn't just hang out with Cameron, just sit there, and she couldn't just go back and sit with him.
Yeah. He could have done anything. They could have been making out under the bleachers, He could have
been getting ready for the dance to get
if you're gonna break into the locked up school, y'all could have both worked in and did teenage hand stuff, all the things you could have done. You decided to follow the evil principal into her evil lair,
and now you all fucked up.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, because you don't have the research. Because you don't listen during lessons.
You don't listen. You
just found the root of all the issues.
Yeah. Stupid teenagers. All right. So I guess that'll be it for this week's episode of Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. Do not forget you can follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at The Creation World. That is at TheCreatia World. As always, if you don't know how to spell world, get a goddamn dictionary. Also, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. You can follow me on both Twitter and Instagram at Sir_Cussalott. That is at SirCussallott. Mara, where can they find you?
Always on Instagrams and Twitters at Mara the Shark, MaradasShark.
I told you that I missed the underscore on the end.
Not lately.
Okay, so I have said it before, though.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, also, don't forget, if you subscribe to our Patreon, you get a whole lot of perks. You know, patreon.com/Creation World. Get some stuff, some extra stuff that we do early. You subscribe a little higher, you get some extra stuff that you can only get on Patreon, like our behind-the-scenes content. You know, get some shout-outs. If you donate $1, that's all it takes is $1. We shout you out. Like our boys Mike and Mark, because, you know, they're producers this month. All it takes is $1.
Hey.
Also, what was I going to say? Oh, I'm gonna put I forgot what I was getting to. Also, I'm going to do a little bit of a push here because we just don't have enough subscribers on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to put a link in this thing. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, please. I'd appreciate it. Please. I'm not worried about our Pornhub because we get way more views on Pornhub than we do on YouTube, which is hilarious to me. But subscribe to the YouTube. I'm going to put the link in here. But yeah, that'll be it for this week's episode. We'll catch you all next week. Until then, we out.
We out.